Keith Leach, president of Sacramento Clean Cities Coalition, met with Propel executives Chris LaPlante and Darren Johnson to discuss the use of E85 and biodiesel, what it means for the environment, the economy, and the fuel options of the future.
Chris, tell us a little bit about Propel, how it got started and how it's structured.
Yeah, so Propel was actually started in the mid-2000s in Seattle, Washington, and the founders of the company saw a really unique thing. They saw people making fuel in their backyards. I mean, there was a passion around using a low-carbon fuel, using a fuel other than petroleum, and this really sort of jump-started the beginning of the company. The beginning of the company was really built around creating access and information about renewable fuels, because guess what? We don't want to make our own fuels. We want to go to the fuel pump and use it. So since then, we've opened 35 stations here in California as well. But our core mission remains really to create access and make it as easy and understandable as possible for consumers and fleets.
Propel specializes in ethanol, E85, and biodiesel. Why are these fuels important?
These fuels have been around as long as the combustion engine. Henry Ford's original Model T actually ran on both ethanol as well as regular gasoline. Rudolph Diesel, his original diesel engines actually ran on vegetable and waste grease and things of that matter. So these are fuels that have been around for some time and that have great standards. Now we are out there putting that out in the marketplace for consumers to use, and it's a benefit to both the environment as far as the emissions of these fuels, as well as jobs in both the local economies, and as well as what it does to their vehicle as far as the wear and tear and the health of their overall engine.
What are some of the regulatory requirements that make ethanol, E85, and biodiesel important?
Well, I think there's a big push in the U.S. with the renewable fuel standard, first and foremost, to introduce renewable fuels, biodiesel, E85, right into the market. So there are very high-level national goals to start introducing these fuels. On top of that, California also has its own very specific goals. California wants to reduce the carbon intensity of their fuels by 10%, and they actually want to replace 20% of their fuels with cleaner burning fuels. So renewable fuels like these, like E85 and biodiesel, are perfect substitutes for fuels that are out there today, conventional fuels that are out there today. On top of that, there's 20 million vehicles in the U.S. right now that can use these fuels. So there's a great opportunity to address fuels and vehicles that are already out there in the marketplace.
So what are the benefits of using E85 and biodiesel?
Most definitely some of the greater benefits there. The environmental part is a significant component. These are cleaner burning fuels, lower carbon emissions of those fuels, both for the B20 as well as the E85. One of the great things that it's very beneficial is it's made here in the U.S. We source our fuels locally here in California. So some of the fuels the corn is grown locally here for the ethanol. It's produced locally by the ethanol producers, as well as the benefit to the local communities and to those individuals that transport those fuels. Most of the areas we have these fuels in, we are currently seeing a price gap of 50 to 70 cents less per gallon than your regular unleaded fuels. Now, it does indeed burn a little quicker, but because of this cost differential, our customers are seeing a difference on their pocketbook with that price differential on the E85.
And what about biodiesel?
Well, biodiesel has a lot of the similar benefits as well. You know, there are environmental benefits, economic benefits. There's also performance benefits to biodiesel as well. You know, from an economic side, you don't have to pay any more to use biodiesel. You can just, if you have a diesel vehicle already, you can just put that right in there at the very same cost. So that's a big benefit, especially to fleets that are on a tight budget. You don't have to pay more for that biodiesel. The other thing that's great is you already have the diesel vehicle. You can turn that into a lower carbon vehicle by essentially just switching your fuel. So your vehicle will ultimately have a lower carbon footprint. On the performance side, it's really about maintenance and longevity. Biodiesel just has this great lubricity additive just built right in. So you never have to really buy lubricity additives or cetane boosts or any of these things ever again for your diesel fleet. It's just built right into the fuel. So it's a high performance fuel and it's better for the economy as well.
Who are some of the folks currently using E85 and biodiesel?
Some of our current customers that currently use those fuels, the U.S. Postal Service, Department of Homeland Security, Caltrans, Kaiser, California Highway Patrol, Verizon, AT&T are some of the larger fleets that currently use our fuels in these areas. We have a lot of smaller fleet customers as well that use these and benefit from those fuels.
Tell us about your current stations in the Sacramento region and what we can expect in the future.
Well, we have 35 stations across California, and how many are right in Sacramento, Darren?
We have 9 in the Sacramento market.
Yeah, the Sacramento market actually has a lot of additional E85 and biodiesel from other retailers as well, and I think there are nearly 25 stations just in Sacramento alone. It's actually the best served market in California. As for future expansion, we really have a vision for California of somewhere in the neighborhood of 200 stations over the next few years. We'd really like to give about 70 to 80% of the population easy access to these fuels. And then it's just going to be some of the more rural areas that might be a little bit harder to service over the near term. But yeah, we see a great future for these fuels right here in California. California's Propel's focus. If you want to learn more, just go right onto our website. It's propelfuels.com. And on the website, you can find locations. You can see if you have a flex fuel compatible vehicle. And you can learn all sorts of great things about these renewable fuels. Either if you're a consumer or a fleet, it's a great fuel to check out.
Terrific. Thank you very much.
Thanks.